Welcome to TOSH Pilates. We today are going to do a workout all with the green ball. There's so many wonderful things we can do with this, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start on our backs with this ball, and really it can be any ball of a similar size to do this workout. But we're going to lie on our back, and we're going to begin with that ball underneath our tailbone. And from here, we're going to first just begin to breathe. So place your hands around your ribs. We're going to just let those ribs open and close and expand three-dimensionally, thinking of those ribs pulling in air, letting the air just kind of flow in through the lungs, expanding those ribs. And then exhale, drawing the ribs together. And then as we continue to breathe, we're going to gently start engaging that pelvic floor on the exhale, and then release on the inhale. Exhale, so ribs, pelvic floor. And then now on the exhale, let's add just a gentle tightening of that transverse. So that space between the hip bones right below the belly, just feel a little bit of tightening there. Now as you do this, you'll want to kind of body scan on that inhale, and then on the exhale, release tension throughout your body, throughout your feet, hips, neck, shoulders, chest. The only thing you're thinking about is inhaling and letting those ribs expand, exhaling pelvic floor and transverse. Now, we want to make sure that ball is placed underneath that tailbone. So it kind of feels like it's going to slip out from underneath you. It's right on that verge. It won't, but it might feel that low. We're going to start adding the obliques to our exhales so that we move our pelvis into a slight imprint. Now, in order to move into an imprint, we need to make sure that we're beginning in neutral. So make sure that tailbone is gently pressing into the ball. And then exhale, we're kind of rolling that pelvis like a wheel against that ball. Not a huge movement. And just very gentle throughout the body, connecting into that core. Exhale. Now to continue with this hip mobility, it's so nice to do on this green ball, and hip mobility is important to us, especially as we get older. We want to, we're going to do a little bit of side to side. So find your neutral pelvis. We're going to engage think of engaging those right obliques, and let that right hip slide up towards your right armpit, and then release back into neutral, and then let the left side slide up to the left armpit. So it's almost like you're doing a hula dance. Everything below your belly is staying the same. There's no transfer of weight from one side to the other. You're not leaning the hip to the right as you bring the left up. Keeping that tailbone centered, equal weight on both sides. We just alternate side to side. Good. Last one on each side. And then we're going to combine imprint and neutral with this side to side. So what that's going to do is make a circle with your tailbone. So imagine your tailbone is a marker, and you're drawing a circle right in between your heels of your feet. You're feeling your obliques working as you're in neutral. And then your left oblique is working. Then we move into imprints, right oblique, neutral left oblique. Now let's reverse that circle. So you're just using your pelvis to make this little baby circle. Your pelvis is moving, but you're actually using your belly. All right. Now let's go ahead. We're going to, keeping those feet hip width apart, keeping that ball underneath your tailbone, we are going to continue to hold neutral. So draw those ribs in, making sure that your tailbone is gently connected to that ball. We're going to take a deep inhale, And on the exhale, you're going to peel the left heel up off, heel, ball, toe, and we're going to do a little bit of marching. Drawing that left foot back down on the inhale. Exhale, peel the right foot off. If you want more of a challenge and to make sure that you are staying even and not leaning and letting your whole body drift from left to right or moving from side to side, bring your arms up. So we inhale, remember, we inhale using that rib cage breath, three-dimensional. Exhale, before we even move and lift anything, we initiate by pelvic floor, transverse, and then we peel the heel up off. Exhale. Now you might find yourself leaning more to one side as you lift one leg up. Try to stay balanced. Don't let that spine pop or smash. Good. Let that leg just float up and lower back down. Now we're going to add the arms. So let's just do 4. We're going to exhale, keeping the ribs. We're not letting our ribs come up towards the ceiling as we push our arms down. We're keeping our ribs stable, holding neutral. We extend the arms back and then inhale back up. Only letting those arms travel back to where we can stay neutral in our rib cage. Inhale back up. Exhale. Staying connected, keeping those ribs from popping open. Last one. We're going to combine lower body with upper. Good. Now, exhale, let the left leg float up. And arms back up. Exhale, alternate. Again, what do we start the move? We don't just immediately lift. We first think pelvic floor transverse, pressing the air out, relaxing through the body as our belly does the work. Now, this next one, left leg comes up. Keep the arms up towards the ceiling. Bring that left leg all the way into tabletop. We're going to extend the leg as we extend the arms. Now remember, we don't let anything move in our lower back. If our back is popping or we feel any lower back, we go back into a very small move. So range begins small, and then as you can strengthen that, as that belly gets stronger, we expand our range of motion. Last one. Good. Come all the way back down. Other leg. Peel the foot off. And exhale. Reach. Again, you don't need to reach very far back or extend the leg very far. That range is your own. It matches you. So it might be different too from left side to right. It's all core. Give me just 2 more. Holding neutral. Staying out of that lower back. Last one. Good. And lower that leg back down. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take that ball. We're going to bring our right foot on it. And we're just going to do a little bit of footwork. Starting with the heel on, we're going to hold neutral again. Exhale, extend that right leg out. And then pull it back in. Using that core. This is a good one for me as I practice and think about this if this is for you as well. To keep your upper body relaxed and let the work come from that belly. Let that leg slide out. And then use that belly, initiate pelvic floor belly to pull the leg back in. Good, let's switch legs. Starting with the ball underneath your heel, holding neutral. Exhale. Let that leg extend. Pulling it back in. Think of yourself as pushing, doing a single leg footwork, where we're pushing that foot bar out, holding that spine and pelvis still through engaging our core. Expand those ribs, spine, make sure that lower back is nice and stable. Last one. Good, come all the way back in. All right, now we're going to come onto our side. Make sure, go ahead and grab a block for your head or a pillow. You can also use your arm laying on the side if that works for you. And we're gonna place that ball between our ankles. All right, so we're going to just do a little bit of, to start, let's first actually align ourselves. So we want our spine parallel to the floor, making sure that you're looking forward and chest is forward. Ribs are drawn in and lifted. We want the waistline symmetrical so you're not slouched into the ground. Staying nice and upright. Take a nice inhale and exhale. We're going to gently hover the feet up off the ground. So you're going to feel inner thigh and oblique and then lower it back down. Exhale. Inhale. So we're just gently lifting the legs up, feeling those inner thighs working. Try to body scan and think of relaxing through your head, neck, and shoulders. You can also leave this top arm on the ground. Make sure you're not pulling into your lower back. If you feel that, make sure you're in neutral, you're not extending. And if it helps, you can bring the feet forward just an inch or so. But try and keep those hips open. Good. Give me 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Now hover the legs up. We're going to do little baby kicks. So kicking the feet as if you're swimming, nice, slow and controlled. You should be feeling that core engaging to hold your body stable. Don't forget that pelvic floor, transverse ribs. You're still breathing. 3 and 2 and 1. Hold here. Small pulses between the feet. 10, 9, 8, 7. If you need to, bring the feet down and pulse down against the ground. 2 and 1. Good. All right, let's go ahead. Before we move to the other side, we're going to come onto all fours. Now, this move, if you don't feel comfortable being on your wrists, you can also come against your couch and place your arms on your couch. Okay? Either way will work and you'll get the same workout. But we're going to start with that ball underneath your right knee. Make sure that your right toes are curled up underneath you. And we're going to curl the left toes so both feet are still connected to the ground. You're engaged in those shoulders, right? Remember, we want neutral. So retract, protract, find the center. Elevate, depress, find the center. Now from here, we're going to look through the hole between our hands and watch that right knee. Make sure that right knee is staying underneath the hip. Your hip is not slanted out to the side, but you're staying nice and square. Now with that left knee, we're going to just lower the knee, tap the ground, and rotate, lift the knee up. So we're just doing a little bit of rotation. Again, staying in neutral, but we think about that right hip. So this right here should be working on the other side, and your obliques. Again, as well as those shoulders, right? Give me just 5 more. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Now keep that left leg square, keep your hips square and neutral. You're gonna curl your right foot up, the one that's on the ball. You're gonna exhale, draw the ball in and roll the ball in towards your shin, or pull the knee in towards your belly, and then extend the knee back underneath the hip. Exhale, use your leg to pull the ball and knee in towards you, and then right underneath. Exhale. Doing a total of 8. Now, the tricky part is as you pull that knee in, your tailbone is still pointing directly away from you. It's not curling in with you. You stay in neutral. This is a lot in those shoulders. We're going to take a break after this. A lot of belly. Last one. Hold neutral. Don't bring that tailbone with you. Good. And lower back down. All right. Go ahead. Nice little shell stretch. If you need to, interlace those fingers. Circle in the wrists. All right. Good. Nice little break. Let's go ahead and do this on the other side. So bring that ball underneath your left knee. Hands underneath. Remember, neutral shoulders, stabilize. Watch that the knee's under the hip. And first, we just lower and lift that right knee. Let that hip drop. And then you're using your glute right in here to lift and pull that knee away from the ground. Feel those obliques twisting your pelvis. Again, nothing in the rib cage should move. Nothing rib cage or above. You're trying to stay equal and square throughout your upper body. Give me 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Okay, this last one, we then let that leg hover, stay square. We curl the toe up on the left side. Exhale, use that belly, holding neutral. Just pull the knee in. Begin with that pelvic floor and breath. 6 and 5. Shoulders are working. Good. 4, 3, 2 more, 2 more. And last one. Good. Lowering the knees and coming all the way back down. All right, we're going to go to standing, so you'll need a wall for this next part. Bring the ball with you. We're going to just come against this wall. You're going to place your feet away from the wall like 1.5 feet or so. The ball is going to come to like your lower back. And ultimately what we want to think about as we do this is we're doing footwork. So imagine that you're laying on your reformer. Your feet are in front of you about hip width apart to start. And then we're going to inhale as we come in. And this is our starting position on the reformer, right? And then exhale, press in your heels and back up. So just like on the reformer, I want you to be able to see your toes. Imagine your heels are on the bar. You should be able to see your toes. And where you should be feeling this is in your quads and then a little bit in that booty. So you're going to feel a little bit more booty standing than on your back or working against gravity. So really think of pushing those heels and activating that little sweet spot right next to your sits bones. And also, we want to always make sure we're not in the knees, right? That we are tracking our knees over our second and third toe. We're holding neutral. We're not leaning forward. But just like you're on the reformer, We are holding neutral, spine, open the chest. Good. And now hold this one down. We're going to do small pulses in the center. So find your range. We for sure, of course, don't want it to be in the knees. We want to stay out of that area and work right in those muscles that help support our knees instead. 4, make sure your knees don't bow out or in. 3, 2, now you're going to come down to the very bottom point that you can. This is bottom range pulses. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up. And now let's do top range pulses. Coming down halfway and up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, good, 1, wonderful. Okay, we're going to do one more set. We're going to do, imagine your heels are on the bar, wide, laterally rotate. Again, make sure if you need to readjust that ball, do so. Holding neutral, so sits bones are pointed towards the ground. Ribs are stacked over, you're in that neutral. And we're going to draw our booties down. Again, double check you can see your toes. They should be in the same angle, your knees as your feet. Down and up. And then as you're lifting up, push into that ground. Let that booty work. Inner thighs are working as well as you kind of draw the legs in together. Good. 5 and 4, 3, 2, hold this one down, small pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to come all the way up. We're going to do top range pulses. Down up for 10, 9, 8. So at all points, making sure that as you come up, knees aren't rolling in at any time. They're staying aligned with your feet, right? Always keep them the same angle. A lot of times I see this, or people will exaggerate and try and do too much. Find that range for you. Okay, last one. Good, come all the way up. All right, we're gonna come to the side, to our left side. Ball is gonna come between our hip and the wall. We're going to lift our left leg up. So, for a moment, I want you to, with your left leg still down, ball is behind or underneath your hip between the wall. We're going to stack ourselves, make sure your pelvis is in neutral. We're staying open, nice and tall. Lift that left leg up. We're going to lower and lift that left hip. So you're going to roll the ball down with your hip. And then exhale, really push that right foot down and try and lift the ball up with your left hip. So, the ball won't move a ton, but I want you to think of you're hinging on this hip. Pressing that right foot down, you're working this nice booty area. Pressing down and up. Good. Give me 5 more. 4. Again, try and be upright. Think of lifting from the top of your head. 2 more. And the last one. All right, switch sides. Ball comes between your right hip and the wall. We lift that right foot up off. Stacking the spine, thinking of reaching up nice and tall. Lower and lift that right hip. Good. 8, 7, remember to breathe in those ribs. Think pelvic floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really lift that right hip up. That's where you feel that tightness happening, is as you lift the hip up. Nice job. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to come back down onto our side to end, working on that nice long position. Ball again comes between the ankles. And we are going to, again, make sure that our spine is parallel to the ground. So we got to lift that bottom rib up, making sure we're not putting too much strain in that neck. Make sure that you have something underneath your head. And pelvis is in neutral. So we're not sticking our booties out or tucking them in between the legs. We want to keep nice and neutral. Core is engaged. And then exhale, elevate those feet and drop them down. Exhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Feel that inner thigh. 2, a little bit of pressure in that ball. 1. Now small, controlled little kicks. Good. If you want, you can always lift. Oops, lost my ball. And that's going to happen. But keep moving, keep hovering. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Keep hovering. We're going to do small little pulses into that ball for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Go ahead and drop that ball. Great job. So those are some of the exercises you can do with the ball. There's many more and more videos to come. So stay tuned. A lot of great things you can do for a full body workout with just one ball. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me.